Hi, I'm Sarah from The Upcoming. A real pleasure to be with you here in beautiful Marrakech.
Yeah.
Maybe you could start by just telling us what it feels like to be here and part of this really wonderful international festival.
I like international festival because it's the opportunity for us to meet people sharing just that word cinema, but there are many, many ways to make a movie. And culture is really important and it defines something, the DNA of the movie. But we are all making movies with very different histories, and it's a chance to be all together. And in festival, you have part of you are here to work, to present movies, to do interviews. But after that, the backstage in film festival is really interesting. You really meet people.
Looking at the fabulous lineup at a festival like this,
Yeah.
because I guess there's a slight difference. You have the big festivals like Cannes and Venice, but really festivals like this are also an opportunity to bring different cinema from all around the world to different
Yeah.
audiences.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. And for us, it's very, it's full of joy to see people come. But in all festival in Cannes, here too, the public is so, how do you say, cinephile? They
Cinephile,
love
yeah.
cinema, and it's so moving to see many, many people laughing loud, crying. Also, I remember during some screenings, you are heavy silence, and that's for us. We make movies for audience, and in festival we have the opportunity to see them, to meet them, and to share some screenings. Because when I'm in Cannes or here, the two last nights, I saw James Gray movie and Guillermo del Toro movie, and that I'm not involved in. I'm totally, and I share with the public. There are very special moments, and I love that.
In particular, how do you feel, how do you see the health of the cinema industry in France?
Yeah.
And the different kinds of films that come out of France. I was thinking of Julia Decorneau's Titan, and she's obviously here as well. What do you think makes a film specifically French, and what makes it stand out on the world stage?
I think that in France, we are used to complain a lot. It's a French specialty. But we have to say that the industry and the system of production, of French production, is amazing, and we have to fight to protect it. Because you know what? In 2019, I was part of the jury of Un certain regard in Cannes. We saw 20 movies, all from all the world, were co-produced by France. Yes, and we in France we have a fantastic audience, very cinephilic, and the last 2 months, many movies had been released in France, made by strong directors, not popular comedies. They were big success in France, and we have to thank our system of production and our French audience.
Yeah.
We are very, very lucky. And no, I'm not able to say what is a specific French movie, because I think there is a big variety of directors in France. You can't totally compare Jacques Audiard, Arnaud Desplechin, Christophe Honoré. There are so many. The French cinema is so rich. Once I was in Venice Film Festival with the movie, and the journalist, it was Happy Few, a film by Anthony Cordier, and the journalist told me, it's a typical French movie. And I said, but what is a typical French movie? He said, you talk a lot and you have sex a lot. So maybe that is the answer.
That sounds like a pretty good answer. And reflecting on your career, I mean, you've been so incredibly prolific. What have been some of the highlights for you? And you sort of look back on and you treasure and you feel like either moved your career forward or really kind of meant something to you?
The last I made last year, I made the movie in Spain, directed by Rodrigo Sorogoyen, and I think it was such a special experience. I learned a lot with him, and I had a lot of fun. And it was shooting that movie was like a trip. Really? So that's a wonderful experience. But I can't choose. I'm very lucky because I met so different people and intense people and very, very smart guys. And I think that each movie I have done changed a little thing in me. And I am the product of that plus that plus that. And it's difficult for me to choose and to put apart something. I think what is interesting is the whole thing. I should say that.
Have you seen the industry change, since you first started acting? I mean, there's been a lot of talk, I guess, in two different ways of perhaps the opportunities for women, both, as directors and storytellers, but also in front of the camera.
Yes, but I think that in France we are lucky too because women and whatever, peu importe, women young or not young, as I am. No, no, but in France, actresses are very, very lucky because directors write for actresses. And thanks to Catherine Deneuve, Isabelle Huppert, the leaders of cinema in France are women. So we don't have to struggle with that question like women can do in other countries, even if we have a lot to do. We are not paid like men, of course. Like we have to find on that point. The most important thing that have changed is to shoot in numeric. How do you say? Not in
Digital.
in digital. It changes a lot for us actors, because first, it was like the moment of the take was so sacré because the film, it costs a lot. It was an event to do a take. With digital, you can shoot 100 takes. The takes can last for 30 minutes, and it changed a lot the way to. It changed a lot for acting, and I think, of course, the image they have to work on digital to get technically, but for us, it's I love the mess that the numeric bring on the set, and I learned it with my Wen. Yes, I like that.
And can you tell us what you're working on now, or what you've got
I
coming
can't.
up on the horizon?
I can't. I think it's a secret.
And in terms of your own aspirations, you've already done so much, but do you have anything that you haven't yet done that's on your bucket list? Either a director you'd love to work with, a genre you'd like to act
Yes,
in?
there are many directors I would like to work with. One of the moment is Christian Monjou. I admire his movies. Yes, I would like. It would be a dream. But there are many in France too. I would like to work again with my Wen or Christophe Honoré or Laurent Cantet. Or Zlotowski. Many. I'm very curious, and I go to cinema, to theater maybe 3 times a week. So it's my life is cinema. Not only the one I do, also the one I see. It's like I can't imagine a life without cinema. So I'm very touched also by the movies of Guillermo del Toro. Yes, I would like. There are many. I will send some text too.
And just finally, of course, you've got your talk this afternoon at 3:30. What do you have in mind that you might want to share or talk about? Are you excited, nervous? How do you feel?
Well, I like to meet the audience and of the conversation like that. Like it's not exactly like an interview. You say you have to be precise and like to a conversation needs more relaxed. We have time. I can joke. It's not
Yeah.
I like sharing with the audience. Yes, I like that. And I like when I am the issue of the moment. I love to be the center of the world.
Well, really, really enjoy this afternoon and the rest of the time here in
Thank you.
Marrakech. Thanks for sharing all that with us.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you.
you.